All right, let's hop into the fight here then. Oliveira gets Gamrot after the losing the Fiziev fight.
This is a good one, especially after the whole, because Benoit Saint Denis said, oh, I'll back it up, and then all of a sudden they said, okay, you good to go? No, I need more time for him.
Oh,
So, well, I don't blame him.
Well, a lot of them were complaining that they wanted the 3 rounds versus the 5, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So they said, "Hey, it's the main event." They go, "Look, it needs to be 5." He's like, "No, I want to do 3." No,
Yeah.
it's the main event. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a main event, it's got to be 5. And I know they've bent the rules a couple times in situations, but yeah, because they don't want to return the money. Yeah. But I love this fight.
It's a great fight. Dude, I'll tell you what. It's a very difficult fight for Charles to switch over into. You were talking about him facing a very good stand-up fighter, a guy that is, very, technically just so smooth in the stand-up, but no real ground.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's going to the complete opposite of a guy who, man, Gamrot's wrestling is top tier. He is an absolute aggressive, go at it, and he does not stop. He's kind of got the whole Habib Nurmagomedov, vibe to, hey, if I didn't get on the first one, I'll get it on the second. If I don't get on the second, I'll get it on the 15th. If I don't get on the 15th, I'll get it on the 25th.
Mm-hmm.
He just keeps coming, which is a very difficult person. Now, I know everyone's saying, yeah, but no, you don't want to take Charles down. Bullshit. Okay. If you are in this position with Gamrot, you need to take him down at times, and you need to, be heavy on him. And he's got, Gamrot's good on the ground. He can avoid the submission game and do damage.
Yeah, he can. He can also get caught in a submission.
Yes, he can.
So,
dangerous, danger.
He is dangerous. I always take a look back and I think to myself, I'm like, Gamrot, he had a good fight against Arman Tsarukyan, dog fight where he came up on top over Arman.
Yep.
Arman struggled a little bit with Charles Oliveira. He was almost got caught in a submission a couple times. The wrestling was there. He did, the body head, damage and that type of stuff. He got exhausted though, having to defend takedown or defend submissions. He got exhausted from, Charles touching him a little bit on the feet. There was a lot that went into him doing that. Gamrot doesn't have, he's not as, not that Tsarukyan's great on the feet either. But he doesn't seem to have as much, he's not as comfortable on the feet as Arman is.
No, but he's gotten way better. I'm just going, from the time that he was in KSW and then, moving to the UFC, his stand-up has absolutely improved. And you look at his last fight, I want to say it was his last fight, the Dan Hooker fight that he had. Like, Dan Hooker on the feet is good. And you've seen him, Dan Hooker, in the first couple rounds beat, Dustin Poirier, in the stand-up game. And then that fight against Gamrot, he Gamrot actually put Hooker down. He did a lot of good things. Now, he did lose the fight. It was a close fight, but he's turned into a guy who is not, I'm not saying he's the greatest on the feet, but he's comfortable and he's able to use his stand-up to get into his grappling range. And from there, once he's shooting the shots, he is tenacious.
He did Winston, by the way.
I'm sorry?
He has one since Dan Hooker.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Look, I like Gamrot. I think he's talented. A little bit more one-dimensional fighter. He's got to be very cautious and careful of the guillotines. Got to be cautious of the anacondas and the darces. He's got to be cautious of the triangle because that's what Charles is just fucking awesome at. So he's got to be cautious of all those things.
No doubt about it.
And then on the feet, Charles is just so relaxed. What concerns me about Charles is, I think, what everyone's concerned about, came back too soon.
Yeah.
That wasn't like he just got clipped and he went out a little bit, dropped to a knee, and then got finished. No, he fucking was out. Like, he was out. And so that's what scares me a little bit. And the rush for him to come back. Why?
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. Because it's UFC Rio. That's why.
Yeah, but you have a lot of money. Like, you could take an extra 2 or 3 months. You can relax. I get it's Rio, but nothing worse than losing in Rio either.
That's true.
So I'm not saying he's going to lose. I am leaning towards Charles because Charles had a full camp. I think Charles really focused on this. I think Charles will grapple a lot more because I think Gamrot's going to be forced to wrestle. Charles pressure on the feet, the push kicks, the long range jabs, all those things. It's is going to give Gamrot some problems. Just the relaxation of Charles Oliveira is going to give Gamrot problems. Gamrot's going to be forced to be, to have to shoot under pressure, and that makes people tired. And Charles, he's been doing this for so long, being competing at the highest level.
See, I look at it the same way as you. I look at it, and if it was this fight with 8 months separating the knockout to Ilya, I would feel much better about Charles. As far as picking Charles.
Yeah.
The fact that it's been a shorter amount of time, I think it gives Gamrot, the ability to possibly do some damage to him that, makes it to where Charles is just not as effective.
Absolutely. I would agree. I'm still taking Charles.
Yeah. Okay.
John. Element, the best hydration drink in the business. I had citrus earlier today. It's actually fantastic. And now they're making the lemonade salt in the can. Cannot wait. So if you guys use that link down below in the descriptions, they'll send you a bonus package with every single purchase. That's compliments of the Weighing In podcast. So hope you guys enjoy that.